Sure. So this bill is about transparency and accountability between police departments and the communities that they are sworn to protect and serve. Um, this past summer, we saw the use of military equipment at largely peaceful protests, equipment that made a lot of folks uncomfortable and questioned the relationship between police departments and the communities they serve. And the fact is, the streets of California are not war zones. Our citizens are not enemy combatants. Uh, Law enforcement in California are our community partners in public safety. They are not military generals, and the weapons and equipment that they use should reflect that reality. So this is a bill that would require transparency, so we understand what type of equipment is being used and for what purposes, in a way that continues to build trust between our local police departments and our local communities.
What kinds of police equipment that are in use today that you feel shouldn't be a part of a normal police force?
Let me hold on. I've got a whole list of this. And I'm realizing I'm reading as I'm just starting to become familiar with this bill. So, this would include manned and unmanned aircraft, wheeled armors, and tactical vehicles like mine resistance, ambush protected vehicles, bayonets and long knives, explosives, certain types of riot gear. One thing, though, I want to make clear is nothing in this bill prohibits any local police department from obtaining that equipment. All we're saying is before you procure that equipment, you need to go through a public process and get approval from a governing board that governs both the type of equipment that is authorized and the uses for those equipment.
What about the equipment that these police departments already have purchased that they already have in use?
So they would be required to make sure that they have a use policy that permits that equipment to be used. Again, we're not saying that that if a police department believes that it ought to have a certain type of equipment, they can't make their case for it. But we want to make sure that there is local oversight and that there is a public and transparent process for the procurement of that equipment. We don't have a lot of information right now what type of equipment local agencies have at their dispersal, but we certainly saw this past summer an alarming range of equipment when police are launching tear gas from military grenade launchers at peaceful protesters or shooting rubber bullets from armored vehicles at unarmed citizens. So from my perspective, I think the public has a right to know when and why police believe they need to use military caliber equipment, especially when public dollars are at stake.
When is this bill going to be considered in the legislature? What's the path it's on right now?
It will likely be considered in the first policy committee in late March or February. Likely be considered in its first policy committee in late March or February. God, I keep saying February. Likely be considered in late March or April.
What's the time?
Sorry, you cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. If the bill is approved, what do you see as the timetable for this being implemented in the state?
So the legislative calendar would require it to get to the governor's desk by September. The governor could sign it in September or early October to go into effect January 1st of 2022.
Okay. I think that's all I have. Is there anything you'd like to add? Anything that we didn't touch on that you want to say?
This bill is about building and rebuilding community trust between local law enforcement and our communities. Trust that we know has been strained in recent years. And we're simply saying that the community has a right to understand what type of decisions are being made around military equipment and military use, and the use of that military equipment, and ensuring that law enforcement in California are true community partners when it comes to public safety.